Hello folks, my name's Ben and welcome to another Shots Fired Airsoft video. Now obviously recently on the channel we've had a few rifles and I thought it was time to maybe get back to having a look at a pistol, and I've wanted to have a look at one of these for a little while with the possibility of maybe replacing my sort of old Dragon 7-inch Hi-capa I've got, which I've run for probably a good year and a half now. And she's getting a little bit worn. I kind of want to do a little build project on it, so I kind of want to take it out of rotation. However, that's all down to how this review goes essentially. Or, I mean, obviously this is just the unboxing. We'll do a full firing test and all that in another video. The first thing I'm going to say about this is the sort of custom 5.1 Golden Eagle Hi-capa. And you can sort of see from the little picture on the box that we've got quite an aggressive slide cut in it, fluted barrel, scalloping on the grip and various other sorts of things. And this is the gold edition, so you can have them in black or red, which I'm guessing is the colours of the internals. It comes in a lovely hard case. It feels good, you know, good quality, good tough latches. They're not going to come done by themselves. There's not really much other information on the hard case, so let's pop them open and have a look and see what we've got inside. Just going to add this in after the video. Didn't even occur to me at the time, but this little manual was hiding under the foam in the top of the box. I was thinking it was a bit weird at the time it didn't come with a manual. I didn't even mention it in the review, in the sorry, the unboxing. So in there we've got safety, features of the pistol. We've got a parts listing, how to charge, remove the slide, about the half cock safety, the full cock, and also component pieces, how to adjust the hop. We've also got a strip down, and then we've got our exploded parts diagram. This is actually really quite a good manual. There's very few words in it. It's primarily part numbers and little diagrams, but it is really quite a cool little manual. So sorry I missed that out at the main review. So we've got nice padding in there in the case, sort of like an egg crate style foam. We actually get a speed loader with a pistol adapter. That's a nice little touch. It's not actually that common to get speed loaders anymore with certain guns. It's quite unusual to see them in a pistol, and it's really unusual to see them with a little pistol loader. Obviously it makes it a billion times easier to get it in the magazine. We have a unjamming rod, nice little short one there for a pistol. We have a bag of BBs, which, you know, we don't usually recommend using because these would be the cheapest, nastiest things that they could put in the box. And then we have the pistol itself, and this is quite pretty looking. Obviously the slide cut will not be to everyone's tastes, however I'm looking at it purely from a performance perspective, and having this much material cut off a slide will make it a lot lighter. Just to say, it isn't actually a cut slide or anything, so you're actually still got a one-piece slide that goes all the way to the bottom. It's just that this is very much cut back. You can see it does all move as one piece. Magazine that comes inside the gun, very much standard Hi-capa fare, like you would expect. It's got removable base plate and got a nice smooth follower action. You can load it through the bottom if you wish. So obviously the gap opens out in the front of the mag for BBs to be pushed directly in there if you did, for example, lose your pistol speed loader tip, which, if you're not familiar with these, they sit on like that, and then that pushes the top of the follower down and then allows you to pump BBs directly in and through this 90-degree angle. So yeah, the magazine's all metal and does feel very nice. Nice heavy duty valve on the top there. So yeah, not too much more to say on that, but it is a nice meaty piece, that magazine. One thing I have noticed, and I will say, is I don't think the fixture and fastening is particularly incredible in terms of their quality, because that's actually got rust on out of the box. Not overly impressed about that, but you know, it is what it is. You can see that there. That's that reddish tinge there is actually where the plating's starting to come off that Allen bolt, and it's actually beginning to be a bit corroded. But I mean, there's no evidence of that on the rest of the gun. There's no corrosion or anything at the moment elsewhere. So we've got the half cock, full cock safety on this. Right, so let's go over the features of the pistol. We've got a faux fibre optic sight in the front. We've got a sort of standard Hi-capa sight block in the rear. We've got our traditional beaver tail safety, so you can't fire the gun when you're actually not engaged with the weapon. We've got a standard slide lock, which you get on the 2011 style Hi-capas. We have a slightly extended magazine release. This actually sits quite proud of the gun, which is a bit on the unusual side, and is something that they've added on for this, I believe. We have our usual safety for the slide. It's ambidextrous, however, like most of these, the off side, essentially the ambidextrous side, so to speak, is always quite loose. So if you pop that up, and with that all the way down, it doesn't actually disengage the safety on this side, and that will probably fall off at some point. They all seem to. So we'll put that back down. It does have a lovely flared mag rail out the box, which is great, and a lovely sort of dragon scale style handle, which nicely scalloped, gives you a real good grip. The trigger itself feels nice. It doesn't feel like there's going to be much in the way of reset or wobble, but we'll see when we're firing that. But yeah, everything on this feels quite chunky, quite nice quality. I'm just going to get my scales and we're going to weigh the pistol. It does feel relatively heavy despite all the cut slide, and we'll see what it weighs. Okay, so you're back with me now. We've got a long suffering weigh scales out, and I'm just going to pop the magazineless gun on there, and we are 615 grams without the magazine in. That's about, to give you an idea, that's about 100 grams less than an ABS plastic Glock like a TM or a R17. With the magazine in, which is a relatively chonky boy, much like myself, yeah, we're looking at pretty much getting on for 1 kilogram, so this is quite a chunky hand cannon. The weight of these is something to bear in mind, but all of the metal Hi-capas are going to be heavy. I mean, when we did my Dragon 7-inch, that weighed, oh, it was about 1.2 kilos with the mag in. So that's another like 200 grams on this. Now, it's not so much the overall weight of the weapon, although obviously it does affect your handling of the weapon. I find a heavier handgun actually a bit easier to use for me. Although it is nice to have something that feels like almost you aren't holding it. It's also nice to have something that when you've got both hands on it, you feel like you've got more of a command over a heavier weapon when it's kicking than you do over something like, you know, like a little Glock or something, especially a CO2 Glock or something like a WE running on CO2, where the thing's trying to jump out of your hand every time you go near the trigger. And there isn't that much weight in the weapon to actually sort of assist you with the recoil. So getting away from that, we're going to get some gas in this mag, and then we're going to do a few rounds of cycling, and then we're going to test mag compatibility, because I've got WE Hi-capa mags and it'd be quite interesting to see if they go in this. Okay, so here we go. I've got me mag, a bit of WE gas. Just going to see how this takes a fill. This is something I've had issues with before. These the GE mags don't really like taking a fill from these through these inlet valves. It could just be me, but I do find that they're a bit finicky about taking a gas fill. It could also be the fact that the mag is, yeah, they don't want to take any more than that. I often find that silent fill O-rings help in this sort of situation. The other thing is the mag could be filled and it's just spitting it back out, but I guess we'll find out if we put the mag in the gun. So the mag is empty, gun is empty. She locks back like she should. Just tap that, nice slide release. Yep, pops, comes back, pops, comes back. We hold down the slide release. And again, yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's got gas in there. It could just be overfilled. I'll just pop that out and trigger that. And then I've got this WE mag. This is a sort of standard WE Hi-capa mag that you get with any WE Hi-capa, a 5.1 or a 6 or a 7 I believe 4.3s and 3.8s are slightly shorter. I can't remember though. But if we pop that in there, it does lock home. So this mag's actually leaking, by the way, so not ideal, but there should be something in there. And there we go, we get a lock back and refire from that magazine. When I do the firing test, I will make sure that BBs actually leave this, but it looks like the Golden Eagle is cross-compatible with WE and therefore TM mags, so that's a big bonus. As for taking down the weapon, I'm going to assume that this is a standard style Hi-capa, so if we pop that back, where we get to the little divot in the slide, and then pop our slider release out, often easier said than done. There we are. We should be able to just run that forward and off we go. So there's your frame. Frame is metal all the way through. You see it's got lube on there from the factory, that's actually a good thing. Standard trigger system. You can see there the old sort of U-shaped Hi-capa trigger system. Nice skeletonized hammer. There's not really too much to mention there. The frame is very lightweight, so a lot of the weight is held in the top of the gun. If we come in here, you see we've got a standard Hi-capa sort of guide rod assembly, although it is, I'll just pop that out. Does that pop out of there? Ah, yeah, they got a, there we go. Cool, that's a long guide, that is. That's going to be entertaining to get out. Cool, flipping heck. Okay, so it's got like a nodule on the front of the hop-up chamber, which means that this isn't quite going to be WE and TM compatible. Although you could just run the guide rod set up against the hop. But do be aware that this does differ internally slightly from WEs and TMs, even though it does take the WE mags. So there we go, after a brief struggle we did get it out eventually. So you're looking at the outer barrel and hop-up. The hop-up and outer barrel actually doesn't look that vastly different to a WE or a TM. Obviously you've got that little nodule on the front, but if you wanted to run a different, say a shortened guide rod or something, you could always just chop that nodule off the front. Here's only pot metal. Got a nice dial adjuster on the hop-up. So maybe not expecting the best hop-up out of this, because we don't seem to have much movement going on there. There is a bit. Yeah, you can appreciably see that more, but whether it would be enough to spin much more than a 2.5, we'll see. Slide itself is very light, as you'd expect, because most of it's missing. Blowback nozzle is a bit weak on the return. It'd probably benefit from a stronger nozzle. Then again, 99% of stock guns do. Actually, it kind of is a bit lazy there. Yeah, I can get it stuck that far out, and it sort of doesn't really want to come back in. Again, that is kind of standard on these guns. So a little look at that front section again, really quite nice. Bit of delicate engineering there on the muzzle. And then this is your guide rod assembly that I was struggling to get out. That's a big metal piece that is about twice as long as it is usually. Recoil spring isn't exactly strong, you might say. Again, that could be another area of improvement. And then we have a, excuse me a sec. Yeah, we have a metal guide rod with a plastic buffer at the back there. So all in all, fairly cookie cutter Hi-capa stuff. So the hop-up chamber may differ slightly. It looks like that you would be able to swap a different chamber into it if you maybe swap the guide rod. Although you don't really need to swap the guide rod, because this flat surface will just sit against a normal hop anyway. So that's it for the teardown of the Golden Eagle Hi-capa. Okay, so all that being said, first impressions of this Golden Eagle 5.1 Hi-capa. This is part of the custom series, like I say, with the cut slides, fluted barrels and all that sort of jazz. I like it. I do like it. It'd be interesting to see how it performs in terms of accuracy. I've got to say that the actual build quality of the weapon does feel pretty good. A bit of a shame that they didn't use stainless bolts on the grips there, because obviously these have been sat in boxes a while and a little bit of damp gets them and that will make oxide, black or painted or black oxide fasteners like these go off. Not the end of the world, not difficult to get stainless grip bolts. The flared mag rail's a nice touch. Again, the accessories and furniture on this are really quite nice. We do have a little bit of a wiggle. That's because the barrel floats, and obviously there's no little slide keeping it in place. Oh, another thing to mention, this does have a threaded barrel. I will just check actually what thread that is. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, okay, so that's a 12mm clockwise thread. That's the adapter out of my WE Dragon. So getting a trace on that is not going to be a problem. Getting any sort of suppression you want, again, not an issue. But it is something extra that you might have to buy if you've only got, say, WE pistols that tend to use an 11mm clockwise thread. So really, yeah, all in all, looking forward to getting a firing test done there. Does feel good quality, trigger feels lovely, nice and snappy. I would imagine you could probably run this on red gas as well in the winter, or red gas in general. We'll see what the FPS is like on it when we do the chrono test, but these sort of like heavy metal top pistols do tend to like a bit stronger gas, especially in colder climates. But anyway, I've been rambling enough. I've been Ben. It's been a shots fired airsoft video. Thank you very much for watching, and the next video will either be the firing of this, depending on the weather, or got a cheeky little KJ Works Glock to do as well. So, well, that said, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.